Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is October 22nd, 2017. My name's Eric Peters, and joining me today, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Hello, my friend. How the devil are you?
Oh, jolly good now that I'm back in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Babe, babe.
Babe, coming through. We got Mr. Mike Tyson.
There is no Mike, only Zool.
Is that Tom?
Is that you, Scarlett Johansson?
There is no Scarlett Johansson, only Zool.
It's going to be Mike the whole show.
There is no Mike, only Zool.
Oh, man.
Hi.
It's rough doing this through a computer
sorry.
screen again.
Zool got in the way. I had to just kick him out. I mean her. Kick her out. You know what I mean?
Oh. Is that what Hazel turned into after the wedding?
Just turned into Zool. Just turned into like a giant statue dog beast.
I've got you now, Michael.
Yeah, that's it. Rings on the finger. Turns into a beast. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. How are we?
Good, good.
Good.
Like Eric's saying, it's weird not to be doing this face-to-face, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which is why I think we need to set up the webcams.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep mine above the desk for you, Dan.
Oh, you're so kind.
Nothing like jacking it on a webcam to friends.
Factory Sealed episode 153. Jacking it.
Only available on Patreon.
Driver 78, jacking it.
Change it.
Mike, your Russian accent's worse than mine.
I can picture that now. You drive up and you think somebody's tire's blown out and they're down there acting like they're jacking the car up, and you come around and they're just going to town.
I'm a jack of my car, and then afterwards we'll shit to the urinal. That's Italian.
Italian driver again.
What is going on?
I'm going to have to give some context to this. So, earlier this week, whilst at work, pulled over at a service station, and I go to the toilet, and then there was a cleaner, and somehow he got talking to me about how's he put it, someone once did a turd in the urinal, and then, as the racist arsehole he was, he went, "Oh, probably one of them Eastern Europeans." Yes, because they're obviously famous for shitting in urinals, you racist twat.
Hey, Nico, you want to go a crap in the urinal?
I think there's a more pressing question at hand. Do you really call it a urinal?
Yeah, it's a urinal here.
Yeah, urinal.
Ooh, sounds like
Not
a
urinal.
special rhinoceros.
I call it the place where I don't go because it's weird.
Yeah, that's right. You don't stand up to pee at a urinal.
Yeah, I go in the toilet and say, I do not want to stand next to other men with their knobs out. It's weird.
Especially whilst you're jacking it.
And especially while that dude's having a shit in it next to you.
Just reading the
Hey,
paper.
friend, I'm from Europe.
Nice a dick.
Nice a dick. Oh, this is a big one.
It's Italian again. It's got a really shit Mario.
Shouldn't have had the Taco Bell last night.
Wahoo! Hey, Giuseppe, where's the low roll?
Just sits in there. Let's go. Or as it sounds on the N64, hot pickle.
Goodness.
Goodbye, Ditterdy.
Oh, this went off to a fine start.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're long overdue for getting back on schedule. We had about a month off.
I know. What have people done? Have the brains increased in volume and not been dribbling out the old ears? And...
Spot never got to Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Spot.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that game as well.
We'll get to it eventually.
You know, like in about 800 shows when we're all dead.
Well, we used to be really organized with what we were playing every week, and then
I know.
Mike
and
joined.
now the website still says, "What are we playing?" Dino Crisis.
Shit. I'm going to change that.
That was only, what, about 10 episodes ago?
If not more.
Don't make me play that again.
Yes,
You don't
please.
want to spend more time in the Regina?
Power Plant Simulator.
Ooh.
Simulator?
Simulator. God, that game was shit.
It wasn't that bad.
It was.
1 out of 5. It was shit.
I'm so surprised that some sort of review for the show hasn't shown up with that yet.
There's still a chance.
Ooh, 5 stars. It's shit.
I'm happy as long as I get 5 stars.
So we actually had a whole extra week in England after our last show. There's a lot of shit that happened in that week.
I got myself a wife.
Woo!
I got myself a wife.
Achievement unlocked. Got myself a wife.
I went down to Poundland and got myself a wife.
She's a bit shoddy, but she does the trick.
Should have gone to the 99p store next door. Could have saved a little more.
He said P.
So,
Instead of sense.
Yeah, so while Eric was here, no matter what he saw, money-wise, everything was still dollars.
That was a
This sausage is only $13.
that was a
No,
big
Eric,
mistake.
it's pounds.
That was a big mistake because I got home and looked at my credit card bill and it was 30% higher than my brain had calculated.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, because the exchange rate's kind of garbage. Like shit, this is only $6. Get it? Oh, it was 9.
So you've added hundreds onto your total.
I mean, I looked at my credit card bill. Over 75% of what I bought was alcohol and coffee.
Sounds
And
about right.
food.
Yeah, I mean, food just was kind of like the appetizer to the alcohol.
I mean, I don't think I've ever ate so much shit over 2 weekends. Like, it was unreal.
Are you saying that the food that we served at the wedding was shit, Dan? How dare you?
It was bloody shite, Michael. I chose the lemon tart, and I wish I went for the chocolate thing.
Oh man, that
Oh,
was.
heck.
Whew.
The lemon tart was very nice, actually. I quite liked it.
It was tart.
Tarty.
Before we get to the wedding, though, Tom and I went to Paris.
Oh, yeah, Tom's not here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tom, he had grand ambitions to actually be here. He was flying home from Toronto.
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 There is no
Canada.
Tom, only Zool.
So, once again,
Mike, it's not going to catch on. Stop saying it.
There is no catching on, only Zool.
Eric, cancel him off the conversation.
I need to stop typing while I'm talking because I just put October 29th.
Send Hazel Facebook message, unplug the Ethernet cable.
Just stab Mike. Yeah, Tom and I went to Paris on Monday. We spent a whopping 23 hours in Paris. And good Lord, did we see a lot. But probably the most memorable moment was getting to the Eiffel Tower, going through security, and we saw a huge line for the elevator. Like, man, that'd be convenient. But it's getting dark. We want to get up before the sun goes down.
You didn't let Tom control the elevator, did you?
No, I didn't. So we decided to go to one of the legs that had nobody standing in line and take the stairs. We had to go through this little security checkpoint, pass our bags through, they'd scan it, and some guy was making little goofy jokes, like grabbing our fat sides. It was a really weird thing. And
Grabbing your fat side.
yeah, like he'd do a little pat down, and he'd like squeeze the love handle area and make a goofy joke in French and then giggle.
It sounded like you pulled.
That guy loves his job too much if he's doing that. Like, how many people will he have to do that to on a daily basis?
I mean, was he hot?
I mean, everybody in France was gorgeous, so I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
Does that not just mean everybody in America's really fugly?
Christy, we're getting a divorce. We're going to marry the whole of France.
I mean, that's their greatest national export is attractive people
And garlic.
and bread.
Though you said that about the UK as well, though. We were in like London city centre, and you're like, people here are so much more attractive than in America.
Yeah, but those people were probably all from France.
And I said you want to try coming up north.
Well, yeah, then I just looked at you.
Oh, shit!
Went there.
You made an ugly joke.
I just gave Dan a complex.
Nah, not really bothered.
No, so we take the stairs
Not
up
when
the
you're
Eiffel
talking.
Tower.
Not when you're talking with that face.
I know. Together we make one mildly attractive thing.
Oh yeah.
So we start walking up the stairs to the Eiffel Tower, and we get... So it's kind of sectioned off. You have to take the stairs up to the first main platform where there's, like, stores and restaurants, and then there's another section to go closer up to the top, and then after that, you have to take an elevator up to the tip of the spire. We get one flight away from the very first main level after going up probably 50 flights of stairs, and Tom looks at me and goes, forgot my bag down at the security checkpoint. Fucking Tom. We had to march
This is at the... just shouting off the strut. Jeeves, fetch my bag!
Hook it up, sir!
Jeeves, tell Jeeves to make a line and pass the bag along up the stairs.
Then there's a narrator, but there was no Jeeves.
Now, mind you, at this point, this is towards the end of the day, we'd probably already walked 7 or 8 miles around the city, and we're just dead tired. So the thought of having to climb the Eiffel Tower twice was just... I suffered through it. I went all the way back down with him and then all the way back up. But fucking Tom.
I'm surprised you coped, because when we were first together in London, we walked for about 10 minutes. You're like, God, this is far.
Well, yeah, I was used to sitting in a car.
So lazy. How are
But-
you not huge?
Huge?
Huge.
Gouge.
Is that a game by Konami?
Yes.
Konami's huge. I don't know.
Hideo Kojima.
Starring Solide Snack.
So what? Snack.
When he dies, snack, snack.
It just opens a bag of chips. Crunch, crunch, crunch. We're ruining so many games. So light snack.
Is liquid snack just like a yogurt?
Solidus is like a crunch corner where you got the yogurt and the chocolate at the same.
Oh my god.
You're right.
Is
Eric.
that you, Big Biscuit?
No, I'm Big Cookie.
Big cookie.
Instead of Merrill, it's marmalade. Oh god.
Psycho Mentos.
He's just dropping him into Coke.
So you like Coke, do you?
I see you've been drinking diet.
Vulcan Raisin.
Oh man.
I'll stop it now, I'm sorry.
Konami's huge.
How about Sniper Wheat?
It's a terrible cereal.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry, the Eiffel Tower. Did you guys kiss at the top?
I proposed.
What
Did
He
he
said-
say, did he say yes?
He said no.
Oh.
And then halfway down, we saw
Must be awkward.
a locket that had a heart on it, and he changed his mind.
Oh. So we reunite next year for the wedding of you and Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some things to sort out first. But it was wildly crammed at the top, and they had a champagne bar at the top where you could pay like $27 and get a little flute of champagne and toast at the top. It was just wildly overpriced, everything, and really crammed. So we hung out there for a little bit. I took a bunch of 360 pictures off of it. So the bought a selfie stick that I could stick the camera in. I'm just shoving it out off the edge. And looking back through those pictures, there's so many great, like, what the fuck reactions are that from people? But Paris is awesome, man. It was
How
a
have
great
people
city.
seen a selfie stick in Paris?
Yeah, but a 360 camera on it. And, like, most people don't stick it off, like, through the fence hanging out over the edge.
So, speaking of selfie sticks, right, when I went to Japan, I had to go for a conference at work, and we were in the most boring presentation in the world, seriously. And there was this couple in front of me. I don't know where they were from, but they had a selfie stick. And they were taking pictures of themselves at this presentation and taking pictures of the presentation itself. And I was like, every time they were taking pictures of themselves, because it's so bloody stupid, doing a stupid face behind them every single time.
Didn't put your
Pinkies
pinky
up.
So because there's somebody somewhere who's got loads of stupid pictures.
Speaking of that selfie stick, did we tell you the story about how I almost destroyed everything in one of those tourist shops on the side of the road in London?
First of all, beautiful segue, by the way. But no, you didn't.
Oh, God. So I had the perfect selfie stick at home that I wanted to bring because the 360 camera has a hole on the bottom that you can screw the selfie stick into. And the one that Kat had was just meant for your phone, so obviously it wouldn't work. And we're walking along, I think it was through Piccadilly Circus or something like that, and found the perfect one. So I grabbed it and we went inside, and I was just looking at some other trinkets, and I saw this gravy boat that was shaped like a red bus. And something in my brain is like, grab that. So it's 3 shelves up, and I'm reaching up to grab it, and in front of it are these decorative plates. And I didn't think to move that. I'm like, I can jimmy this gravy boat out of here. Well, no, I couldn't. So I pull this gravy boat out. 1 plate falls, hits 3 other plates, and a bunch of other shit just comes clambering to the floor. I'm like, oh shit, this trip just got really expensive. Tom and Kat just kind of like step back and let all this shit fall as I'm trying to do this juggling mess of trying to catch all these plates.
Eric just buried under a pile of crockery.
And the sad thing is,
Tom and Kat are outside the door going, Jeeves, prepare the escape car!
Jetpacks. I didn't even get the gravy bus down.
The gravy bus.
I offered to pay for everything, and the guy's like, no, you're fine. So thankfully I didn't have to pay for the X amount of plates I broke. But
It makes it sound like a daily occurrence.
That means that what they're selling is actually shit.
oh yeah. Well, I think he then upcharged me for the selfie stick. It was supposed to be $4.99. That asshole charged me $9.99.
Bastard.
I know.
I think you've still made a good save in there, to be honest, so
Yeah, but I didn't get to inspect the gravy bus.
I'm sure he'll cope.
Whole life ruined.
So, future reference, Mike, if we ever take Eric on a trip, do not take him in any way with perishable crockery.
Well, have you ever seen those shelves in there? Like, everything is just, it's like 3 grams away from shattering the shelf. They pack as much shit on there as possible, so you breathe on it wrong.
It's a science. They know what they're doing. But they don't expect some man-child to try and climb the shelf.
Is that 3 grams as in like weight, or 3 grams as in like golden grams, as you say?
3 golden grams.
3 golden grams. Golden grey hams.
Graham.
What else did we do that week?
Well, you went to Paris, and then you came back.
You drove in England on the other side of the road.
Oh, man.
God, yes. This was worrying.
It was awesome. I got all decked up, had my, I don't think I had my GW shirt on, but I had my back-to-back World War champs, had my American sunglasses, American flag toothpick, and I just beat my way across that country.
So yeah, this is the start of a brand new obsession / catchphrase, which is beep beep.
Spelled
Beep, beep.
B-E-A-P. B-E-A-P.
Most of what I remember from Mike's wedding is just Eric standing next to me going, beep beep.
Well, it started because you guys have this weird obsession with roundabouts in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It took us 4.5 hours to go 150 miles. And I drove a little more than half of that. And we'd come up to these roundabouts, and I'd just forget to turn my signal on because everything is backwards. I'm shifting with my left hand and then also having to use my signal with my left hand when I'm used to being able to steer and signal with my left hand and shift with the right. So it's a little backwards. So instead of using my signal, I would just lean out the window and go, bait, coming through, every single time.
I don't know why they let you drive. I wouldn't have.
Hell, we made it there just fine.
The car's just got no wheels, just scraping along the ground.
They've got the feet through the floor like the
Bean,
Flintstones.
bean toad doesn't count, Eric.
Bape, bape. Yeah,
We made it, Mike. We made it.
It definitely was a fun drive. The drive home, not so much.
No, mine either. They decided to close the main motorway, which was fun.
Yeah, they did that halfway down back to London as well. I think it was the M11 or whatever. Was like 4 miles of it was closed. And in the States, with stuff like that, you have a frontage road that you can drive or something that stays near it. No, this you had to go 40 miles out of the way to come back down to reconnect. So we just ended up taking surface roads.
Oh yeah, mine said A1 closed, take diversion. So I took the diversion, and then there was no more signs for the diversion. So it said follow diversion with an X. And the diversion symbol changed to a diamond, and me being stupid went that way and ended up going back southbound, adding 25 minutes to my journey, and ended up back where I started on the A1, and then having to go that way again, and then it turns out the next sign with the friggin' X on is about 40 miles away. So I'm like, what?
Jeez.
That was near my house. I was like, that's not a diversion. That's like going the other side of the bloody country.
And mind you, this was all at you left real early. You probably left at 7?
Yeah, because I was tired then, driving back, because we got woke up by the beautiful Lincoln Cathedral.
Jesus, Mike, how do you guys stand that thing?
I live nowhere near it, so I don't hear it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could hear that thing from space.
So the hotel we stayed in for Mike's wedding, literally out of the back window, you could see Lincoln Cathedral. It was in front of you, wasn't it, Eric?
And it was so damn hot in that room, we had to open the window, and apparently you guys don't have screens on your windows over there.
We also had to open the window because Eric ate a rabbit pie, and his flatulence is awful. I'm never sharing with you again. My eyes are still stinging.
Typically, a guy can stand his own flavor. This one, there was something special about it.
God. He did it under the covers, which was fine because it stayed under there. And then it was too hot, and then he poked his leg out, and that let the cap out, and that set off all kinds of things. Air raid sirens going off and everything for gas attacks.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, but on the morning, yeah, it was awful. I could
and
still
it was
smell
still
it. I could
there in the morning.
Smell and taste it in the morning, I think. So. No more rabbit pie for you, good sir.
But that rabbit pie was great, despite the fact that I didn't get any of the bullets in it that I was promised.
Yeah, it warned you on the menu, right? No, some bullets inside.
You had me at bullets.
America, baby.
Babe, give me that food with the bullets in it.
Yeah, so after we somewhat survived the night with Eric's flatulence, we woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning by the cathedral as our alarm clock. Literally, the window wide open, so you just snoozing away merrily, and then BOOM!
Well, we were trying to figure out how the hell it's designed to ring, because most clocks would go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, when it gets to 15, 30, 45, and then the hour, and then on the hour it'll ding however many times it is. We started counting one time, and it hit 45, and we stopped counting. It just kept going. We're like, there's no 45 o'clock!
It's just Hazel's in the bell tower just laughing. I'm awake, so these guys are going to be too.
So we decided to talk to some of the people around town the next morning. We went to get coffee, fully expecting people yeah, fuck that thing. Everyone's like, no, love it.
Yeah, the hotel was lovely apart from that, but my God. Because it went off every 15 minutes, so we couldn't go back to sleep.
And apparently it rings
just dozed off again, and then bong!
It rings every day from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. All day, every day, the damn thing's ringing.
Maybe that's why Mike is as loud as he is, because he has to shout over Lincoln Cathedral.
How do you guys stand that thing, Mike?
Honestly, you can't hear it where I live. I'm like a 30-minute walk from the cathedral, so I can't hear it.
But it's at the top of a hill, and you all live in a valley.
Yeah. Well,
are you just that ingrained to it?
Yeah. I mean, there's another little church right near my street that has bells ringing on the hour and everything, and even that doesn't bother me.
I mean, church bells don't bother me, but we pointed out to Hazel, and the next morning she sent us a video saying, "Damn cathedral, the thing just bonging."
Well, it's all right being near. It's nice and that. It's just I've never been that close to one when it's ringing on a morning when I want my beauty sleep.
Well, yeah, because it was about an hour and a half before we were slated to wake up.
Yeah, awful.
Then we were cracking Father Ted jokes, and I think we were still a little deliriously tired. What would you say to a nice cathedral?
Fuck off, cathedral. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you guys actually find that video game shop I was on about at the end?
Yeah, we did.
To ask you.
Yeah, we did.
Gotham Games.
Gotham Games, yeah.
Yeah, they had.
alright.
What was the console we looked at that all the games are on cassette tape?
Sinclair or something? Spectrum?
Oh,
Spectra.
Spectrum.
The Sinclair, isn't that like a pastry?
No one I know of.
No.
Oh,
you
that's
made that up again.
That's an Eclair.
Oh, God. I can't figure out if you're joking or just being an idiot.
Is that like an eclair on the internet? An eclair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Konami Eclair.
Oh, so while we're on about things we did in Lincoln, I think we need to talk about my first experience of VR because that was amazing.
Well, we ended up going to that Aikido bar.
We did. Aikido!
Aikido!
Unofficial sponsors of Factory Zero.
They
mention them enough and they might be in the same echelon as IKEA.
Oh God! You know when we went in there, and I said to you guys, I've never said to the owner. The owner's name's Toby, I think it is. I was like, I've never mentioned to him about us being on the podcast. I was seems a bit lame. Well, you guys left the wedding early.
Yes.
After the band and DJ and everything finished at the hotel. Load of us ended up actually going into town, dressed still fully suited and booted. Hazel went in a wedding dress. We still went into town and went to this. If anyone's been to Lincoln, there's the dirtiest, dingiest rock club you'll ever go to called Sugar Cubes. And we went there. At this point, I was just twatted. Absolutely twatted. And I remember chatting to him outside. And I was like, Toby, Kino, yeah, thank you for sharing our podcast.
He's like, who the fuck's this guy?
So yeah, didn't keep my cool at all.
No, he lost it.
Then you might just pretend not to know you next time, man.
Then I harassed a girl who works at a local shop at the end of my street. There's this girl who works at the co-op at the end of our street, and she was there outside in the smoking area where we were stood, and just on top of my voice, co-op girl. She didn't look impressed.
You're in a suit. It's okay, though.
Yeah,
you get a free pass.
Very dapper, very dapper.
Yeah, so we subjected Dan to VR.
You did?
I've never seen Dan so impressed. He was on what game was it you played?
It was Farpoint, and we were in the menu.
Dan was just in there going, oh my God!
Wow! Guys, this is so cool!
It just blew my mind. It was so
really
good.
did.
He's truly from the north.
It was like being in a spaceship.
oh, it feels like I could touch it.
What was even better, though, was we put in that Until Dawn Rush of Blood, and Dan sat down. Not even made it to the loading screen. Nope, John. Wanted nothing to do with it.
You know me and my horror games. If there's not an easy mode, I'm not interested.
You didn't even make it through the tutorial where you were just shooting at ducks and boxes.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen. It just looked like a terrifying corridor. And I thought, right, first thing's going to happen. Some shit's going to jump out at me. And then I'm going to literally shit my knickers in front of everyone.
That was actually the goal.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's Farpoint was amazing. And because what was even better about it was the fact that you had the gun controller. And it looked like you were holding a gun. And it was,
and then I jumped in and played, and we discovered you could actually hold it up to the visor and look through the scope on the gun.
I looked it up, right, Eric. Apparently, if you put the gun on your back, like you're changing your guns, that's how you change the guns.
Oh.
See, my ceilings are low enough that I would do that and shove it into the ceiling fan.
Yeah, could imagine. I didn't like them spidery aliens on it, mind, that jump at you. They're a bit freaky.
See, it was all fine and well until I started trying to get more advanced with the controls, because we were using the gun, and it had two joysticks on it, and you could actually use both the joysticks like you're walking around with the controller, and that's what triggered the motion sickness for me.
The motion sickness for me came from when there was a dip in the land. So, like, you could be walking in a straight line and then you might see a slight dip underneath you. And instead of, like, because your brain's thinking, right, we're going down now, but you don't go down. You're just standing there and it's like, whoa. That was the only thing for me. So, I don't think I would like sliding down something in VR or something like that.
Well, like the roller coaster parts on Until Dawn were kind of the same thing.
Ooh, I'm glad I didn't do that.
I think that's going to be the shortcoming of VR indefinitely. Is I don't think we'll ever be able to find a way to fix that. You're always going to have that disconnect between what your brain is perceiving and what your body is actually doing.
Unless you have a living room with motion tracking, like the same size as you used to need for the first iteration of Microsoft Connect.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, on the adverts where they're like with people living in mansions and stuff. It was me trying to do it in my mum's house and Pete Lee just like in a tiny room, just like, it's not working!
1 square foot of space.
Imagine doing it in Tom's flat.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but overall, I was really impressed with it, and if it wasn't so expensive, I'd probably get it. But
I think I'll still pick up a PlayStation VR if I can ever catch one on sale for a couple $100.
yeah, maybe.
But, you know, on the other hand, too, I have a PC strong enough to support the Vive. So for me, it's kind of like, why not just get the Vive? But then again, that's $600 for the headset.
Ouch.
And
yeah, that's quite a entry level price, isn't it?
I don't know if I would really utilize it that much. It might just be relegated to a neat party trick, like, oh, we got a group of friends coming over. You ever tried VR? Sure, let's try it. And then it goes back in the closet.
See, I can think that for me. I think I'd use it for quite a while, and then it would just be put away. And then
there's just so much setup involved. Not so much for the PSVR, but for the Vive, it's just massive amounts of setup.
Well, PSVR is just plug and play, really, isn't it? I mean, in a Kido, we were playing without headphones on, but I can imagine when you've got the headphones on and you're completely immersed in it, it's like, it just blows your mind.
It is really cool.
It is cool.
Definitely a far cry from the 80s.
Yes, when the Virtual Boy would destroy your brain.
Ooh, yeah, but
retro gaming thing reference.
Hey, it only took 41 minutes.
That's pretty good for us.
Yeah. No, the wedding was awesome, Mike. That was just a really good time.
It was a good time. I'm sorry I had to leave so early, Mike. I do apologize.
That's absolutely fine. I knew you guys wouldn't be staying till the end anyway. So
I sent you guys a message on the chat about, I was listening back to the old show. My favorite quote, in the distance, you can hear the flags. And Santos Lopez said to us eventually, like, let's hear what Eric's going to do at the wedding. And then all you hear is in the distance from Hazel's, if I see any of these fucking American flags.
And we all had them in our pockets.
Oh, man, let me tell you what, them flags were a hit. Your best man's fiance just started referring to me as America throughout the rest of the night.
Babe.
The people we were sitting at the table with eventually came up like, do you have any more flags that we can have?
Like a little flag dealer. Oh, mate, you got any of those flags?
Oh, it was so good.
No, well, those two, Lucian and Bryony, when we did those, we put those ad libs on the table for you guys to do. There's one bit that said the best part of the wedding today. They put hanging around with the factory seal guys. So you guys left a good impression.
Good.
Yes, we are awesome, you know.
When we get together, we're quite good.
They were impressed with our ad lib, I think.
Oh.
How many different ways can you say
love
Mike and
from Bert and Edna.
From Arizona and Het.
Mike and Basil.
Trike and Easel.
Dyke and Basil's my favourite.
We should probably get some context to
basically, me and Eric decided there was these. Mike and Hazel had these sheets on the tables where you could fill it in. It had like a message, and then you could fill in the blanks. So me and Eric, between us, decided to make it as dumb as possible. And we started off. So it said my name, and then we put Bert and Edna. Then it put we have travelled to this wedding, and Eric put Arizon because you've got to put the E on, and Het, where I live. And then we did that, and then we decided it had different spaces where you could put Mike and Hazel, but instead of doing that, we decided to get names all the way through which were different, which sounded a bit like Mike and Hazel but weren't. So Dyke and Basil.
I
I can weasel.
I like how there were suggestions for Mike to do to Hazel, and then for Hazel to do to Mike. And Dan, you put something along the lines of check to make sure that Hazel's alive every night so that your marriage doesn't get weird.
That's exactly what it said.
You also put, I recommend that Mike and Hazel straddle each other nightly. I do not recommend they abstain from nightly straddling.
Well, we're married. Best get straddling.
And then the best part of this wedding is the part where I saved it.
But our ultimate advice to you was to make sure that you sit before you wipe so that you have a clean bum for the rest of your life.
Top work, guys.
The key to a happy marriage is a clean bum. That's the underlying theme right there.
Yes. But thank you for inviting us to the wedding, Mike. We had a great time. It was very fun. We look forward to your next one.
My next one? It's news to me.
Dan, you really missed out on a good time with the dance. I wish you could have stayed a little longer.
I know. I was gutted. I missed the twist and shout.
Oh,
I laughed my head off with that picture. It just said Jeeves twist and shout.
I thought I uploaded the GIF of it where Tom and I are just sitting there twisting our knees back and forth. It's so dumb.
It's so funny. And then Kat sent me that picture of you eating that necklace of sweets. It just looks so dumb. And and the caption was, "Now that his carer Dan Curtis has gone home, Eric is
out."
So funny,
Mike. I had a conversation with your dad at the bar. Oh God, your dad is a riot. But I'm not gonna lie, I understood maybe 4 words.
Well, he's I'm trying. Is Penrith further north than you, Dan?
It's to the west, I think.
To the west, yeah. So he's like my dad's from up like that area, like near Dan. And they've got their accents. They're kind of like Geordie, but not. It's a really wacky accent. So my dad, and he talks so fast.
Yeah.
As well. Like for some reason, when I was growing up, I was one of the few people who could actually understand him. My mum sometimes had to get me to translate for him.
How did you not end up talking like him?
Well, I don't know. I sound nothing like any of my family whatsoever. Like
he's very articulate, you know.
They always joke that I'm the posh one, and they have no idea where my accent came from.
But see, Mike, when I was down at Lincoln when I first arrived, and I was by myself for a little bit, and I was wandering around the hotel, and I could hear people who sounded exactly like you, and I was like, "Oh, Mike must be here." And then I was like, "No, that's an old guy."
Well, you guys obviously were in the touristy bit of Lincoln, so there's probably people from out of town.
Oh yeah, that night. It just turned into, after we left Aikido, it's just like a raging drunk college town.
Yep, pretty much.
That's Britain on a night for you.
Tuesday night, get hammered.
After dark, the creatures come out.
So, what did you understand of what he said?
Well, after our conversation at the bar, I was walking back a little bit later, and he stopped me, and he said something to the effect of, "Airport!" Like, that's all I got out of it was airport. Like, yeah! Got like a 5-hour drive, airport.
Did you just do the 3 watt rule and go, what?
No, I did
then what? Then he repeats, and then what? And then goes nod and smile.
No, my go-to is always just laugh, assume they're telling a joke, because your dad is always laughing. And I just laughed and agreed. Like, yeah!
Let him get off on his way.
Yeah.
He might have came over and went, "Hey, you want to go have a shit in the urinal?"
Oh. I don't know if we told you this, but I think it was... Who was the lady in the bright blue dress that had... one of the little boys there.
With the red hair?
Yeah.
Amber.
So she, at some point, Tom and Kat and I were just sitting down, and she comes over and sits down at the table and just goes, "Ah!" and then walked away. It's the weirdest thing.
Excellent.
Oh, man. Well, believe it or not, that's Hazel's sister.
It was so funny. She sat down at the table and gave us this breakdown of her thoughts on gaming, and we're like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, man, she was hammered. Like, she ended up in such a state.
I think we left right around the time that she got sick over by the bar.
Well, she spilled a drink because I thought she'd vomited, but this is making my wedding sound really classy, isn't it?
Yes.
But no, she's sort of drinking
Shits
it.
in the urinals. Vomit all over the bar.
I mean, she was a ton of fun.
Incomprehensible dads.
She was a ton of fun, but man, she just came over and just looked at us all and screamed and then walked away. It was so funny.
Why?
I don't know.
I think we need an explanation on this one.
Dan, were you there long
what
enough
to
for them
tell
to break out the candy jars?
No, I left just at that point.
Oh. I got some Beatus, for sure. This is the Beatus table. Welcome to Mike and Hazel's wedding. Here's your diabetes. That was a really cool idea. Was that Hazel's idea?
Well, it's kind of done at quite a few weddings here now. It seems to be like a thing that people do, and Hazel wanted to do it as well. Like,
Yeah, the last wedding I went to, they had design your own cupcakes, which is fun in principle, but when you give everybody a load of sweets, they're just going to put as much as possible on that damn cupcake. And there's not much surface area on a cupcake. So you ended up just getting a cupcake with a box full of sweets.
Dan,
Go ahead.
Dan, were you there for our first dance? So to
No,
speak?
I left just before Mike, sorry.
Okay. Well, instead of like a first dance, me and Hazel performed with the band and had everyone else kind of be our first dance, so to speak. And we'd done a little rehearsal with a couple of guys from the band like a few weeks prior, and the song was like the normal speed. And obviously me and Hazel had been drinking a little bit anyway, and we were like, okay, yeah, we'll start. And the bassist started the song so fucking fast. We were doing it in like double time. Me and Hazel a little bit pissed, just going, oh shit! Ah!
I don't think anybody noticed.
Oh, it's fine. We didn't actually swear, but like, it started. Me and Hazel just looked at each other like, fuck.
You guys
What
covered
have
it
we
well.
done?
I think one of my other favorite memories from the wedding was spending at least an hour and a half trying to adjust Dan's belt so his pants didn't fall down.
I couldn't believe that. I don't know what happened, right? Basically, I haven't worn my suit for a while, and apparently I've lost some weight. I don't know how, but I have. And even with my belt on the tightest notch, it wouldn't keep my trousers on.
You had to go all the way into town for a new belt.
I did, but before that, we spent, a good hour or so using various implements, which with no success, trying to get through this solid leather belt.
We were using...
We're standing outside the murder car park of the hotel. Eric with a pair of nail clippers trying to take bits out of this belt.
we
I,
were
was like,
using...
I physically couldn't have got through the wedding though, because my trousers would have fell down. So I went down into the town, down the
for
hill,
the second
hill
time that day.
through the hill called Steep Hill, which is the steepest hill in the world, in my full suit, not thinking, I should probably maybe take my jacket off, leave with Eric or something. No, I just cracked on, walked down there, in the middle of when Lincoln is the busiest, because the freaking sausage festival was on. So I had to dodge through slow-moving people, getting more and more irate, thinking I'm going to be freaking late for the wedding. And I went into Primark in my full suit. And bear in mind, the people you get in Primark usually aren't very classy. So, I was in Primark in a suit, and then there was the biggest queue in the world. And I had to go to the front of the woman, and she went, and I had to go to the woman, can you take the tags off, please? Because they were attached with, things, so you needed some scissors, really, to take them off. She had to cut them off for me, and I put my belt on in the middle of Primark. And then had to walk back up the frigging steep hill!
For the second time that day.
Yeah, but I made it, and it was fine. I was a bit hot and sweaty for an hour, but I made it.
We had to go down earlier in the day because Tom decided to show up to a wedding with nothing more than dress pants and some loosely dressy shirt, and had no tie and no vest or anything. And Kat's like, is that seriously all you brought? Dan and I over here getting fully suited up, and Tom's like, I guess I am a bit underdressed.
He's never been to a wedding before, bless him.
That's so
Has he not?
No, this was his first ever wedding. He always gets invited to the reception, but not the do.
Oh, always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Oh, poor Tom.
I was
Tom.
nearly late for my own wedding though.
Were you? Oh, yeah, your taxi didn't show up.
Yeah, I booked a taxi for 12:15. It didn't turn up until 1:45. So me and my brother were down at my house, like, what the fuck's going on? And the third time I rang them saying, where is it? I was like, I'm going to be late for my own wedding. And the woman on the other end was like, oh, I best make that a priority for you. Yes, please.
Why didn't you just drive yourself?
Because my car was at the hotel from the day before.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because we got a little drunk the night before.
Yeah.
So I think we need to talk about the murder car park as well, because that was so bizarre. Because the hotel's car park is across the way in like a really dingy garage, which just looks like you're going to get killed at it.
It's like something out of The Last of Us.
So when Tom and Kat and I left that night, we were parked in the outside portion of it where everybody could just park around the outside of this gravel lot. And we get out there, and some jackass had pulled into there and parked exactly in the center.
What?
Just as you do.
Dead right in the center. And we're sitting there cussing this guy out. Tom had to back out, and I'm guiding him through, and we have inches. And he actually touches, like one of the times he has to pull forward, he touches and bumps into the car in front of him. Like, that's how much space we had. And back and forth just to wiggle ourselves out. And we're just cussing this guy out. And then we start thinking about it like, actually, that was a really smart thing for him to do. Still, jackass move. But he parked in such a fashion that everybody could have gotten out.
With some
Dickhead.
work.
With some work. But everybody, like, the better option would have been, oh, shit, no parking, turn around and go out. But he's like, no, we're going to park right here.
Eric, I was parked inside, right? So I don't know if it was as busy as it was when you left, but my God. I had to do about a 15-point turn to get out of this car parking space, because it was all diagonal parking bays as well, so the angles were all messed up and things, and oh my God, it was so stressful. Because people were parked everywhere. It was crazy.
And you have a small car. We were driving a Vauxhall Insignia, which Tom and Kat are like, holy cow, this thing's a damn semi. Well, this is just a normal car.
Beep.
Yeah, they just could. This thing's quite small by comparison, beep. And they were just freaking out at how big it was. And
oh, yeah.
Jesus, there it is. But
it's so big.
Oh, nice Vauxhall.
It's so big.
Then the next day, so Tom and Kat and I didn't get home till like 2 a.m. They had to be up at 6 to drive down to Gatwick. I had to be up by 8 to hop on a subway for an hour-and-a-half ride out to Heathrow. So needless to say, we didn't get much sleep. I don't think they got any.
No, I don't
But
think
they came
slept,
out at
I don't
6
think they've slept all the way through their Canada trip either, judging by the picture Tom
They
sent
came
us
out
earlier.
at 6 a.m. to say bye to me, and apparently they scared the shit out of me because I jumped off the couch, gave him a hug, and like laid back down immediately. Like, no recollection of it. So I wake up to these text messages from Tom and Kat, both like, "Hey, really sorry we scared you this morning. Nice seeing you."
Did Kat drink at the wedding? I know Tom obviously stayed.
Oh yeah,
drunk,
Kat and I got lit up.
Yeah.
The car ride home was awesome. It was full of random show tunes where Kat and I were singing and a whole lot of beeping.
Tom's in the front just hating his life.
I think I sent you guys a picture of where I'm sitting in the back seat. And I took a selfie with Tom in the front. Jeeves, take me home. It was a good trip. It was sad to come home, quite honestly.
No, I've honestly had such a good time these past 2 weeks. It was just some slight concerns, obviously, because we've never all met each other before and stuff. But everyone's just the same, and it was just fun from the very first minute we all met each other when we were all united in Tom's flat. I could just tell it was going to be a good time, and it was a good time.
I was a little worried that like there'd be a little bit of awkwardness at first, but there wasn't at all.
No.
I mean, Tom and I had met a couple times before, so we'd kind of ironed that out. I think the only hesitation was Dan and his northern plague that he brought down.
Yes, that plague was bad.
Man, we managed to stave it off through the rest of my vacation, but I got home and it hit me in full force.
Oh, good.
Yeah, this week has not been a healthy week.
I'm glad that Mike didn't go for his wedding. Well, he sort of got it and then got over it, so he's all right for the wedding.
Yeah, because he took some Alka-Seltzer.
I did not take any Alka-Seltzer.
I'm still waiting for that to kick in.
Oh man, but Dan's cold got me like just after, and it turns out I had like a major ear infection as well. So I've been on antibiotics.
Well, yeah, because you guys decided to have a bitch slap fest after the wedding.
Well, it was a friend of mine called Fred. I was round his like about a month ago, and we had some beer pong, and for some reason the forfeit ended up being the losing team because we got into teams. The winning team got to just full on slap the other team, and for some reason, whilst pissed after the wedding when we were out in that nightclub, like Fred was in front of me and I just went boosh across his face, and he was like, "Since it's your wedding, I'll let you off." I said, "No, go on, get me back. It's only fair." And he ended up slapping me back, but he got me right round the ear. And I woke up the next day and I honestly thought he perforated my eardrum.
Oh,
So between Dan's cold that had hit me, being majorly hungover, my ear also like hurt like hell. My balance was way off, like awful. And I went to the doctors on Monday just to have it checked out, just in case. And she was like, "Well, you've not got a perforated eardrum, but you have got like a really bad ear infection that's clearly been there for a while. Him slapping around your head has probably just made you notice it. So he actually did me a favor by bitch slapping me."
So your doctor made a note of like, fucking idiot.
Do you know what my favourite picture of in the wedding is, Mike? That picture of you where you're clearly just pissed off your face eating a burger in the four-poster bed in your bridal suite.
Hazel's like, "What have I married?"
I'll upload that to the group.
Mike, we're meant to consummate the marriage. I'm eating my burger!
Speaking of stupid
Oh, man, that
rules,
looks
though,
so rough.
you said you guys have a beer pong rule where something you get to slap each other in the face.
Well, it happened that night. It's not a normal rule.
Oh, we have when we play Smash Brothers, we have a rule where if you don't get a single kill, everybody else gets to give you just the hardest titty twister. And holy God, is it good incentive.
I'd hate that. I can't stand people doing titty twisters to me.
Oh, man.
Really can't stand
When it happens, it's an ordeal. Like, the person that... You kind of know who's doing the worst, and you're like, "Oh, I don't think that person has any kills yet. Let's gang up on him and get him out so we can get titty twisters." It's only ever happened like 5 or 6 times, and we play a lot of Smash. But when it happens, it's an ordeal. Like people running away, screaming up the stairs, and people dogpiling on them, and it like blood is drawn. Oh, video games are serious.
That seems quite sadistic, Eric.
I mean, it started off innocuous, like, hey, the person who... We have one guy that we play with who just always wins. So we instituted a rule where whoever comes in dead last gets to choose the character for the person who took first. So it kind of helped balance things out because not everybody's good with every single person. And then that started to balance itself out. We're like, we need something to kind of... Because people started, like, purposely trying to get last. Like, we need to de-incentivize getting last. Titty twisters, here you go. It's a good rule.
What do you do if somebody loses a Mario Kart? Just kick them up the arse as hard as you can.
Rochambeau. But yeah, so that's the gist of the England trip. I'm sure that when Tom gets back, he'll have some more stuff that he and I did that we forgot about. Yeah. But kind of after the wedding, it was, or the prior to the wedding and after you guys left, that week was just kind of like a chill out week. Kat and I went and saw Book of Mormon, and holy shit, that show's offensive. Like,
I would expect nothing less.
The funniest show I have ever seen, but Kat and I were looking around like, how long till people start leaving?
This isn't what I thought, Ethel.
Thought this was a church service. But yeah, that's the gist of the trip.
I think the weirdest thing...
We need to do it again, guys. We do.
Yeah, we definitely need to meet up again. Because the weirdest thing was, obviously, the four of us are in contact pretty much all the time through WhatsApp. Then, obviously, we get together for the show every couple of weeks. And then having those 2 weekends where we spent so much time together, it felt weird not being around each other.
I know, right? It feels like
really strange.
I know, it feels like we've known each other for so long. It's weird.
I mean, we have.
We have to an extent, but not in person.
We need to start a GoFundMe page and raise like 10 million and then just live off of that all in the same location and
on the island made out of children's tears.
On the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It felt odd coming back. I'm like, oh, I don't get to hang out with them anymore.
Oh.
Oh. You guys should move here. I hear the winters are great.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Guys, should we actually, for the first time in like a month and a half, get to a video game?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
We had every intention of doing this for the live London show, but that thing just went south from the get-go.
Do you know what, actually? Right, I listened back to it, and we actually stayed on course for quite a while.
Until the girls came out.
Yeah, it didn't, like... There's that, like, 20 minutes towards the end where it's just, like, us back and forth with the girls.
We got shy with an audience, I think. We just panicked.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good show. I listened back to it as well, and...
I mean, considering we were pissed as well.
I just about an hour and a half through that show just crashed and got really tired. And
Like you always do.
And then got a second wind.
It's always easy to tell when Dan gets either hungry or tired or turns into a pumpkin because he just doesn't say anything. But
you could visually see it this time, so...
he started slumping further and further down into into the couch, and he got quieter. Like halfway through the show, he's super far away from his microphone. It's like, what the fuck are you saying? But yeah, we had every intention.
It was a long day.
We had every intention of talking about Mario 64 for the live show, but I think we thought it would be best to save that and give it its own show, which is now.
Yeah, I agree. It is now.
Tis. So we're going to cover some Mario 64.
Let's go.
Hot pickle.
I think it's Let's Pickle.
Let's pickle.
Yeah. Tickle my pickle.
Shit in a urinal. Just, at the beginning of the levels where it has the stars and it has the hint of what you need to do, just says urinal deuce. You have to go into the pyramid, find the urinal, and get Mario to take a shit in it.
And then on the next one, when you've got 1 star and there's 5 missing, it says it was shit.
That's the last star when you go in to fight Bowser. There's just 1 star there, 5 others. There's not anything. It's just it was shit. Mario 64 for obviously the Nintendo 64 came out September 29th,
I thought it was for the Mega Drive.
1996.
Guys, this game is 21 years old.
Wow!
What?
That's honestly just a bit depressing to see that and be like, I vividly remember when this game came out, and to hear it, like, that was 21 years ago.
Yep.
When we're doing this show, when we're in our 70s, and we're talking about...
And we're all deaf.
When we are all Bert.
Hey!
It's gonna end up being 6-hour shows because none of us can hear each other.
It's just 6 hours of... What?
Crystal! Fishman catheter!
Empty my colostomy bag!
I don't care if you've been dead for 8 years! Need to talk me some video game.
The thing is, right, obviously we fill a lot of the show with, like, our general lives and everything like that. When they get to that point, we're not doing anything. Like, oh, what'd you do today? Oh, well, I shit my pants.
I threw a sandwich at a kid on my lawn.
I had a slice of toast.
I had 18 cups of tea.
I watched Antiques Roadshow.
I got out of bed. I was tired. I went right back to bed.
I got stuck in the bath again.
Oh, God. Yes, Mario 64 for the N64. 21 years ago. How's that make you feel?
Old.
But you guys didn't have this when it came out, did you?
No.
Oh.
Not immediately when it came out, but I did have an N64 when I was a wee lad. And,
just a little
I do remember
shaver.
playing it.
So I never had the N64.
So when's the
didn't
first time you played this, Dan?
A few years ago, I played through about half of it and stopped.
So it's interesting because you're going to have a different perspective on it because 3D had evolved a lot since then, obviously, and you going back to play this game that kind of pioneered 3D video games. you probably look at it as like, wow, this game is shit.
Well, I wouldn't say a shit, but it's hard to adjust to because the platforming and the camera are awful.
Well, I remember when it came out, putting this in and sitting down and playing this with my mom for the first time. And when the game opens and you see the Lakitu flying around the castle, and you're like, wow, this looks really cool. Can't wait to see what the game is going to be like. And then this pipe pops out of the ground and out pops Mario. And you're like, yeah, it's Mario. He's in full 3D. Let's do this. And then the camera pans behind you and you're just immediately playing. To me as a kid, that was insane to think that we were now able to control a Mario that looked like this. And we spent a good half hour just running around outside the castle exploring this, had zero idea of what was happening. And just the whole concept of the game was just dropping you in this freeform world to just explore and do whatever you wanted.
I mean, the fact that they kind of showed what the camera is as well, that it is the Lakitu, like, filming you.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
It's like
as stupid as it says, it's mind-blowing, but the idea that you always used to call it a camera, even on other games, and then it actually became a camera, and I always thought that was a nice little touch. It's very Nintendo.
Yeah, and it's something that you can easily overlook and not even think about, but it's like Mario's own Truman Show.
There's a room as well where you can see like a mirror, and then you can see it behind you and stuff. Yeah, I like that. That was cool.
But you're right, the camera in this has not aged well. Unfortunately, I had to play through the DS version of this, which I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about the differences, but it did kind of change my perspective on the game because it was much more of a slog to get through the DS version of this than the original N64.
Why was that?
So I understand why they did what they did because they used this game to launch the DS in 2004. But instead of just doing a straight shot-for-shot remake with some upgraded graphics like we're used to with HD remakes now, they decided to make a bunch of critical changes to the game and add 3 new characters. So you can be Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, or Wario. And as a result, they went into each of the stages and they altered some of the stars so that you had to have certain characters to beat that star.
Now, I've dabbled with the DS version a while ago, but I remember rightly, there are sometimes you'd see enemies with like another character's hat on them.
Yeah.
Isn't that in most of the levels where you need a certain character, you can find an enemy with a hat? Or
you
are
can,
there some
yeah.
levels where literally you have to come back in with the right character?
I guess I didn't pay that close attention to it. I always just would grab the character that I needed from the room and bring it back. But there were some where I knew I needed to be Wario, and if I was close to the Goomba that had the Wario hat, I would get that and do it. But it slowed the pace of the game down because I was so used to all of these levels, and I knew exactly what to do, where to go, how to do it. And now they had changed it so that it's like I can't rely on what I did as a child to play this because they've changed something about this game. And it just made it take a little bit longer because now I had to think about, well, what the hell do I need to do now? They changed some of the level structures. Just a quick example off the top of my head from, I think it was Tiny Huge Island. There's a star that you have to get that's in a cave behind a waterfall. And before, you used to have to walk across this bridge and like long jump into the cave, and it was a really tricky jump. But in the DS version, they've put a platform there that connects over to a piece of land, so you can basically just walk to it. Little things like that. Like in the Pyramid and Shifting Sand Land, there's only like 4 hanging poles that you need to jump between instead of 12.
Sod that level.
So
I hate Shifting Sand Land.
It is one of the least.
I just kept, because the daft platforming, I just kept falling in the quicksand all the time. Just kept dying. I didn't find that level actually for ages because I looked through my list and I was missing one. I was like, well, where the hell's that at? Because it's behind a wall rather than a painting.
Yeah, and it's kind of a hidden wall that, and I think the way that I initially found that is there's that rabbit running around in the basement that's impossible
I think that's how
to
you
catch.
meant to find it.
And you're supposed to dive at him when he's by a wall to catch him, and you miss, and it like hits the ripple on the wall and shows you.
You can catch him though.
No, you can, but it's it's hard to do. Okay. But yeah, I think that's what this game does great is just like it drops little hints at you and allows you to explore without being overt. Like this is where you need to go next.
Well, it twos and fro's a little bit. There's little bits where it gives you the little hints, and then there's other bits where it's like, you need to do this. Like the pillars you need to stamp on to get rid of the moat so you can get to the secret level to get the Metal Mario cap.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally a sign next to it where it goes, 1 must pound the pillars.
Oh, yeah.
And, that was a little too on the nose, I felt. Considering how often there's the little hints and how clever the little hints are, sometimes just a little too on the nose, I felt.
I really like the hub world though. I like a Mario with a hub world. It's always good.
Well, I remember first playing this when I was younger, and that castle. Obviously, it doesn't feel that enormous now, but that castle felt like it was huge, and it was almost like a character in itself.
It kind of was a
I
big
still
game,
think
though,
it's still
for the
pretty
time,
big.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 15 worlds in there, plus all the different optional ones.
Is it 15? I thought it was.
I think it's 15.
9.
Oh no, there's more than 9.
Let me see. I have it pulled up actually. Oh yeah, you're right. There are 15 stages because there's some. No, I'm not thinking of the hidden ones.
No, there are 15 main stages, and then there's optional.
And then
secret ones,
there's
too.
7 stars within each.
6, I think.
No, there's definitely 7.
Because there's the collect 100 coins star as well on every level.
Which I never knew about as a kid. Never knew.
It does tell you.
I somehow knew that, and I don't know how.
And then
I've
there
never,
are...
ever had the patience to get all of the stars in this game.
Sometimes it's very hard to get 100 coins on some levels.
Yeah, so there's 7 in each, and then there's 15 secret stars hidden around the castle.
Yeah.
In the DS version, it's interesting. I think there's 150 total stars. So what they had done in here is each of the worlds, they had created another star where there are just 5 silver stars hidden around the level, and you have to collect those 5 silver stars, and then that gets you another star. So I think there's 8 in each of the worlds.
All right.
But yeah, I never got the 100 coins. I tried to, but it's too much of a slog to do that, and I didn't really
You
have
have
the
to kill
patience
enemies
for it.
and everything. There's levels where there isn't even 100 coins in the level. You physically have to kill enemies to get the coins.
Yeah, and you have to choose the right star so it activates certain enemies within the level, and it's just that was too much.
There was times when I got like 96 coins and there was nowhere else I could get any from.
And some of them too, like in the Bob-omb Battlefield, when you run a circle around, like the flowers, more coins will pop out. So it's just knowing those little tricks like that.
It's just handy to do the 100 coin star though, because you can get 2 stars at once. Because if you get the 100 coin star, it doesn't kick you out of the level.
True.
Then
I
you
didn't
can
know that.
then you can get that and another star at the same time. So yeah.
I did not know that.
I
Maybe
have-
we should give, just in case there's someone listening who hasn't played Mario 64 before, maybe we should give some context of why we're in the hub world and how we get in levels and stars and things like that.
You wanna take it, Mike?
Bowser has stolen Peach, and you have to rescue her.
Essentially, yeah. She sent Mario a letter at the beginning saying, "I've baked you a cake. Come to my castle." And Mario's
Sexy time.
and Mario's like, "Oh, am I gonna get a blown?"
Oh, cake, huh?
I'm gonna get my end away with the Peach.
Can I have a
I'm
pie
gonna poo in
instead?
the urinal.
Give me a piece of your pie.
So essentially, yeah, as we said, the hub world is Peach's castle, and when you get to Peach's castle, you hear Bowser laugh, and you're told by a Toad. It's like Tidus in slow motion. You're told by a Toad in there. Who's like,
It's either Bowser or Santa. One of the.
"Oh, they need to release an amiibo of Bowser in a Santa hat." The beard.
Merry Christmas.
But yeah, anyway, you find a Toad inside, and he's like, "Oh, the stars have been taken, Mario!"
That's a good Toad voice.
And he goes, and basically he tells you that you need to jump into paintings to basically access those stages. Within the stages, at the beginning, when you go in, it'll give you a hint of what you need to do to get the star. And you basically go in and out of the levels, getting each star as you go along. You need to collect enough stars to progress through the castle.
And unlock different doors.
How many times did you accidentally punch Toad instead of talking to him?
All the time.
Like, I don't know who at Nintendo thought it was a good idea to map the read button on Mario 64 to be the same as the attack button, but half the time you're trying to read this friggin' sign and Mario's just punching it, and you're like, just read the sign, and then it just says something like, oh, you can press the left shoulder button and A to do a long jump. I'm like, you told me that ages ago!
Ah! Stop punching me, Mario!
Oh, oh, oh.
Hey, Todd, you come with me and we're pulling the urinal. I'll stop a punching! So how do we want to do this, guys? Do we want to go through level by level, or...
No, I don't think we need to do that. Because I think at least for me, there are 4 stages in general that stick out the most, mainly because when I was a kid and I wanted to play Mario, I would start a new game and then play through, and I'd always kind of lose that desire to play through the whole thing, because it is a rather long game. But I would always just play through the Bob-omb Battlefield, Womp's Fortress, Jolly Roger Bay, and Cool Cool Mountain. Like, those are the 4.
Jolly Roger Bay.
Mario
I love that
64.
music.
Oh yeah, and it's the same as Dire Dire Docks, right?
Yeah. It's
But-
really, really gentle, and like you could fall asleep to it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one, because I was finishing this up yesterday, and my mom had come over to play with the girls, and I was playing on Dire Dire Docks, and that music came on, and she's like, "Oh, are you playing Mario 64? I haven't heard that song in years." Like, it's just that iconic that somebody who hadn't played the game in 20 years, like, I remember that. That's Mario 64.
It's that song's such a stark contrast to like the bluegrass music that's on like the slide levels, with the fucking jug player in the corner, like one guy in the corner like slapping his knees. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I mean, those are the 4 stages for me that stick out the most. Everything after that, because you can beat the game without even going to a couple of the levels. I think this playthrough, I didn't go into Hazy Maze Cave at all. I didn't do a single star in there.
Hazy Maze Cave.
It is I'd say that and Rainbow Ride are my 2 least favorite levels.
So, if you didn't go into Hazy Maze Cave, did you not unlock? Was it Metal Mario from that one?
So that's something else that's different in the DS version, is that you don't have those blocks like that. You unlock. So when you go back out to the main entryway of the castle and you look up at the sky and it takes you to where Mario can fly and unlock the red blocks. Mm-hmm. That unlocks red blocks. Instead of question marks, there's exclamation marks. And that's it. There aren't different colored ones. There's not the red, the green, or the blue. It's just red. And each of the characters has a different power-up. So Mario can get the cap that allows him to fly, or he can get this little flower petal, which then causes him to inflate, and you can float to a location, effectively skipping massive parts of the level.
Oh, that's not in the original, though, is it?
No.
Which was really handy for Dire Dire Docks when you had to jump across those red poles to get all the red coins, and just grab the float thing and went through and got all the coins. Luigi can go invisible, which
he's the blue cap, isn't it?
The Vanish Cap, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is the one you get from the moat. I said it was the metal one before.
Yep. And then Wario turns into metal. So they've effectively changed it so that instead of needing the different caps, you need a different character and then that power up. So like in Jolly Roger
what does
Bay,
Yoshi
when it's I don't know. I hardly ever used Yoshi.
Okay.
Actually, the only time I really used him was to make sure to get enough stars to unlock Mario, and then there's one star in Cool Cool Mountain where you have to eat the fire and shoot it onto one of the ice blocks to melt it to get a red coin.
Okay.
That's the only time I really ever used Yoshi.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had to unlock the characters.
Yeah, it was kind of a drag because you didn't
start
know
as Yoshi,
where
don't
to.
you?
Yeah, you don't know. They don't make it obvious where you need to go. Like I got to the stars where I needed Luigi. Like, great, where's Luigi's painting? And you had to go into Big Boo's haunted mansion, find this secret room up in the attic, and then jump through the Luigi painting. and then fight something in there to unlock Luigi.
Yeah, some of the coins in Big Boo's Haunt were hard to find.
The coins?
Stars, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's just...
The rings?
You mean rings?
Yeah, the rings, yeah.
Well, and this is the other thing, too, is that a lot of the star names are very helpful. Like, at the beginning, Big Bomb on the Summit. Like, great, I'm just going to go up and fight Big Bomb on the Summit.
Yeah,
Or Foot Race with Koopa the Quick. But here, it's just go on a ghost hunt, or ride the merry-go-round, or Big Boo's balcony.
It's like on Mario Galaxy, they would give you that as well, but then it would kind of give you a hint as to where it is.
Yeah.
And show you it, but this one just goes, no, just, I mean, some of them, like one in Hazy Maze Cave, you have to literally go past a bit with some boulders and then do a wall jump off the wall up onto a higher ledge, which is just not obvious at all. Like, I don't even know how you see it.
That's the amazing emergency exit, isn't it?
I
mean, there's just so, like, in Big Boo's Haunt again, eye to eye in the secret room. The fuck is that?
That's when you have to get the vanish cap and wall
Yeah.
kick off a wall to go up into the attic and then go through a painting and defeat a giant eye thing.
Well, I know, but when you see
know,
that,
yeah,
you
it's
go,
just-
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I think the whole point of the game itself is exploration. And when this game came out, people were just enamored with the fact that you could go anywhere and do anything, so you're exploring and discovering this stuff.
Kind of the closest thing to open world back then, I guess.
Yeah.
What I really like,
it is to an extent, though, if you think about it. Like, you get these big open sandboxes to play in, and yeah.
What I liked, though, is that you're not pigeonholed to do just the star that you're on. So if you're in a level and you stumble upon a different star, you can get that, and then it'll kick you out of the world and show you in line where that star was. So it doesn't lock you into just getting that one star.
But some are locked until you've done certain things, aren't they?
Yeah, so like
yeah.
the foot racer Cooper the Quick, for example, he won't be there on the first star. It's one a bit later on.
Yeah. Or the Big Penguin race or things like that on Cool Mountain. You didn't like Shifting Sandland, Dan?
Hit it.
I think the one that I actually disliked a little more than that was Tall Mountain, which is odd because one of my favorite levels in Mario 3 was the Big Small World. I just have vivid memories of them. Like, this is so cool. Everything's massive. I'm tiny, blowing up these blocks, having a ton of fun with this. And then kind of the inverse of that was when New Super Mario Brothers came out on the DS, where Mario eats a mushroom, becomes huge, and just starts breaking shit down. Like, I just love that different scale. So coming here, it was great because you'd walk into the room and you'd have 3 different hallways. If you go straight, there's nothing. But when you go to the left, it's kind of this illusion where you're getting closer to the painting, and you jump through and it's a really small painting. And if you turn to the right, you keep going down this hallway and the painting gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you jump in. And depending on which one you go into dictates how you start in the world. So if you go in the small painting, you are big, but the world is small, and vice versa on the other one.
This also applies to Wet Dry World and TikTok Clock as well. There are different ways to enter the things. Wet Dry World, depending on where you enter the painting. So if you jump really high, the water level is very high. If you jump very low, the water level is very low.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you not?
No.
I think a toad tells you somewhere.
I never talked to him.
And TikTok Clock, if you go in, I'm not sure what the time scale is, but I went in as the second hand actually hit the 12.
And it was frozen?
Then it freezes the clock and makes it extremely easy to get to the top.
For a couple of them, because if you freeze it, though, you can only go so far up, because there's a spot where you have to go under some cages and these pistons are kicking out, and it's the only way through there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Tiny Huge Island for me was just kind of a pain in the ass, because you fall down and you then have to jump back. Like, if you get to the top of the mountain to do something and you fall down, you have to jump in a tube to switch the world either to small or large to get back through to a different location, and then jump back in another tube to switch it back, and then just kind of retrace your steps all the way up. It's just kind of a chore. It wasn't as much fun as I wanted it to be.
No, I hate when you're like, I mean, you can be halfway through a level, you've done everything right, and then you fall off and die, and then you get thrown out the paint and have to start again. And that's what I don't like.
That happens a lot in Cool Mountain.
I kept having. This is why I don't like Shifting Sandland, because I kept falling in the quicksand and dying.
Oh, yeah.
And also in Shift and Sandland, somebody stole my cap.
Yeah,
And I had to
the condor.
Yeah, but I had no idea where it went, so I had to look it up, and then I spent forever trying to get it back.
Well, if you just stand on one of the pillars, he'll eventually come around you.
I know, but I just flew into him instead, and then that didn't give me my cap back either. And then I just left and just didn't go back in that world.
I think one of the most annoying things is, because you said before, Dan, that each painting you go into, you dropped into this sandbox. And in a way, obviously it predates it, but in a way it's kind of a bit like Mario Galaxy, where the entire level is just kind of a floating set of objects, like in an absolute void. So
Yeah.
a lot of the levels you can easily just fall off into nothingness.
Yeah.
And that would be the most frustrating thing, where you miss a jump and then you end up sliding down something like, I can save myself. Did.
Yeah, because he slides very easily as well, doesn't he? So it's, I mean, I don't know. It just, with I felt like I was wrestling with the camera all the time. And I think that really hinders exploration and trying to platform and things like that. I understand it's a limitation of the time, but going back to it now is very difficult.
Well, I emulated this, and I was using a PS4 controller, and I'd mapped the
I was too.
4 yellow C buttons to the right analog stick.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
I'm balls deep into Breath of the Wild at the moment, and I'm so used to that camera and used to 3D cameras and how good they are now that I'm kind of spoiled going back to Mario 64 as it is. It's so hard, so hard.
See, and I didn't struggle with the camera in this, and I thought you guys were crazy, like just being too hypercritical about it. And I don't recall a single time playing through on the DS version I'm like, this camera's a piece of shit. Granted, there was no way to switch it using buttons. You had to tap on the screen. There's little left, right, up, down arrows on the screen that you could adjust the camera. But what was really handy was the L trigger would auto-snap the camera behind you. So if you're running around and you needed to adjust your view, like if you wanted to walk across a really tight platform, you just tap the L button and it would snap the camera directly behind for the perfect view. So yesterday I pulled out my Wii, because I have it on there, and started playing through it. I'm like, oh yeah, I see what you guys mean. Like, I struggled just to get the first star on Bob on Battlefield.
Yeah, it's
Just because you're
so
right, you're wrestling with the
janky.
camera.
It just gets stuck all the time, and then it won't turn round, and then sometimes it's locked in place, and sometimes it isn't, and you're like,
Well, it
why
seems
is
like
it locked in that way?
When you press the button, it has predetermined distances that it moves around you. So sometimes it goes too far or not far enough, and yeah.
I mean, for me, it came on the stages where you have to fight Bowser, trying to line up the camera with one of the bombs so I could see where I was throwing him. And I was like, so bad. And there was another one on Wet Dry World where you had to walk across this plank, and instead of putting the camera behind Mario so I could see where I was going, it would pan to the left every time, and I just kept falling off it, and I was like, this is so annoying.
The hardest thing with having it on the analog stick as well is because really you can only do the camera left and right.
Yeah.
And because it's so ingrained into a gamer of this generation that if you press up, the camera will move as well. But obviously the up C button turns it into kind of a first-person look around. It's not quite first-person, but it's to look around.
Yeah.
So many times I'll try and
I kept
pan the
doing that
camera
too,
up.
Mike. And I don't know, there's something wrong with my mapping on my PS4 controller at first as well. And I don't know, the analog stick wasn't working quite right, so he wouldn't run at full speed.
What?
And I was just like, something doesn't feel right with this. I was like, he can't be this slow. So I finally figured it out and adjusted it, and it was a bit better, but it's still I think it's a very difficult game. A lot of the stars are quite tricky to get.
Well, I think they do a nice job of gradually ramping up the difficulty level. So the game it's 3-tiered. So you have Bob on Battlefield, Womp's Fortress, Jolly Roger Bay, Cool Mountain, and Big Boo's Haunt. No, not yet. So you beat all of those to get enough stars to go challenge Bowser to your first battle with him, and then beating him there allows you to move upstairs in the castle to where the levels get progressively more difficult, and then you
go to the basement next year.
Well, oh yeah, you're right. You do. You go down to the basement for Big Boo's Haunt, Lethal Lava Land, Shifting Sand Land, Hazy Maze Cave, Dire Docks. Which that one I wanted to go back to it. That one's in such a stupid location because it's in the same hallway where you go and challenge Bowser.
I know it feels like it was added as an afterthought. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like we don't have a spot for this. So those ones get a little bit more difficult, and then you move upstairs, and that's when the levels get really difficult. And after that, there's 2 more levels upstairs before you can go and challenge Bowser to his final fight. So I like how they tier it. The first 3 or 4 levels are fairly easy, to say the least, minus swimming in 3D, which I still hate.
I was struggling with on Jolly Roger Bay. There's one where you get the eel to come out, and then you can get in the ship. Is it that? Yeah, he's in the ship. You wait for him to come out, and then you can go in the ship. I took several attempts on that because for some reason the eel just would not come out, and I couldn't remember for the life of me what it is that makes him end up coming out. I was trying to swim close to him. I was trying to swim around the boat.
You have to wear a really revealing outfit.
Get the
Hey,
Mario nipples
Mario.
out.
You want to give me a titty twister?
But what you said about the difficulty, Eric, it's funny. This game is it's easy and intuitive to pick up. Well, especially it was back in the day. Like I keep comparing it to modern 3D gaming. It's not that intuitive now. But at the time, even though it was kind of one of the first games to do it, it felt so natural at first. It was easy to pick up, but difficult to master, definitely.
Yeah, but I still think today it retains that magic of this is a stellar game. If you can get past the shortcomings of the camera, the game still controls really well, considering this was a launch title for the N64. The developers had zero idea what they were developing for when they started development on this. Did you guys read through that article that I'd sent you, that roundtable interview?
I was glancing at it just before we.
Yeah, I've read
started
some of it,
recording.
not all of it.
Because I sent it. I think I found it a couple weeks before the show was supposed to air or the game was supposed to air with the live show. But it's really interesting. They were talking about how they were developing this game on a computer, and they were just taking their best guess as to what the final specs for the N64 were going to be. And the initial design for the game was just a room that Mario and Luigi could run around and move some blocks, and they spent a vast majority of their time focusing on how Mario controls, because they figured we're in a 3D world. If he doesn't control fluidly, it's going to put people off. They're not going to want to play it unless it actually handles well. So they spent all their time developing animations and making Mario seem truly alive. And they were talking in there about how many animations they made for Mario. And in total, that made it into the game, there's 193 different animations.
Really?
And there were 50 that they had actually declined. So there's closer to 250 total animations that they created for this. And it was just the goofiest things, obviously, with him running. But then he has like the trip kick or the backflip or the run forward, then the cartwheel back, the wall kick. But as they were playing the game, they realized, oh, we need an animation for this. Like when Mario is crouched and he jumps, they needed a separate animation for him transitioning from his crouched mode to his jump or his long jump mode, and how he stops and turns, and just the amount of detail that went into making sure Mario moved in a believable manner.
And when he has a little sleepy.
Yeah, he sits down and just falls asleep head up. But yeah, it's interesting how much time and effort they put in just on that. And they actually said that developing the levels was in like the last 20% of the game. And they didn't do any storyboarding or like really strict laying the levels out. It was basically, yeah, we chatted about it. Some guy who's not even an artist drew some goofy shit and then just went at it.
Interesting.
Unlike, have you seen those developer notes from Mario 1 and 3 or something like that, where they'd have like this graph paper and they were meticulously drawing out every pixel, because with the NES for jumping, it had to be more precise and they wanted to make the jump exactly a certain amount of pixels?
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, they dug up some of those old notebooks from Miyamoto and
I
really
think I've
interesting.
seen images of it.
Yeah. And then if they wanted to make a change, they had to go through and redraw the whole thing. But yeah, just
I can
the
see that
animation
though,
itself.
because if a pixel's off in Mario, he's not going to make it, is it?
Nope.
So it has to be right.
The other thing too that I found interesting is that there's a much smaller number of enemies in this than there are in other Mario games. And Miyamoto said that in a typical Mario game, they'll put 80 different enemy types. And in here, there's only 40, most of which aren't actually enemies.
What do you mean?
Like
Not actually enemies.
they're not actually engaging you in combat. Like some of the Koopas won't come around and try to attack you. There's the Toads.
They're just sort of there doing their thing.
Yeah,
and
just
happen
existing.
to be
And the purpose for that was to create a living, breathing world where it's not like, oh, not everything is an enemy.
But Mario still comes and kills them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of Breath of the Wild.
Think
right?
of Breath of the Mince.
Think of Breath of the Wild, how that's just a giant sandbox you're thrown in to experiment. It's almost like a continuation of that original idea they had.
Well, Mario Odyssey is also very similar. Big sandboxes.
Yeah.
So
You can really look back at where the ideas came from and where they really wanted to go. And,
Well,
still to this day, they're doing it.
I recall reading that this game itself was actually conceived 5 years prior. Miyamoto wanted to make something like this on the Super Nintendo because of Star Fox, and thinking about using the FX chip to create Mario FX. I think that would have been a huge misstep had they tried to make a 3D Mario game on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, God, yeah. Looking back at Star Fox now, especially like on the mini SNES.
yeah, look at Sonic 3D, guys.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, and they would have had to severely cut down the number of animations and button combinations that they could have had.
It would have been rough.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have pulled it out the bag. Nintendo always do, especially Miyamoto, but it would have been rough.
Yeah. How many stars did you guys all collect?
70.
The bare minimum to beat the game,
Correct.
which in the DS version you have to collect 80 to beat the game. So I got to 70. I'm like, here we go. Hey, you need 10 more.
Yeah, I was done by that point. I couldn't be bothered to get the rest, to be quite honest.
After I beat it, I went back and played a few more, and I think I got up to 87 stars. But
Not bad. Not bad.
So, on the original version, if you go back and collect all of the stars, there's that Easter egg where you can go up onto the top of the castle, isn't there? And you find Yoshi asleep up there.
yeah.
Is there any kind of thing like that if you get all of them on the DS version that you know of?
Not that I know of.
I'm going to check Goggle.
Yeah, I'm just looking through some Mario 64 secrets here. Most of it's just how to get like the secret 15 stars hidden around the adjusting water level in Wet Dry World.
That's the interesting thing as well, like the little hidden stars around the castle. I always thought were cool.
If you leave Mario standing for about a minute, he says, "I'm tired," and sits down asleep. If you wait longer, he starts to lie down, fast asleep. He then starts to talk while he's asleep.
See, like those are just little extra animations that they created.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Not quite Earthworm Jim skipping with his own head, though, is it?
Yeah, that one's always good. Mike, how many stars did you get?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I had enough to get up to the tier of the castle where Big Small World was and everything.
So you didn't beat
That
it.
place. No, I have beaten it before, though.
You get a pass, but I want to give out the massive effort award to Tom, who's not even here, who got a whopping 11 stars.
Good effort, Tom. It's like you've been on holiday in Canada.
And having
We've only had a
numpties in your
month
flat.
to play this.
He's been looking after you.
That's a big chore.
This, yeah.
That's a very big chore.
Just destroy shops and act like a child.
So, what were some of your favorite stars to get? Or the ones that are always the most memorable for you?
Well, I only played it a few years ago, so...
I always still have memories.
I always liked the one in Jolly Roger Bay where you go into the sunken ship and then you open the chests and basically the air bubbles come out and the ship ends up rising. And
Yeah.
then when you go and then you get the star and then when you go back in the level for the later stars, the boat is now floating on the water. I always thought that was cool.
I actually like the first star where you fight the big bomb in that kind of
If you throw him off the mountain, he yells at you like, "Hey, no cheating!"
Does he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have to throw him onto the ground. You can't throw him off the mountain. I think that's they picked a great level to be the first one. It's just such an iconic stage. The music, you get this sense of like, okay, this is going to be fun.
What's the level they recreated for Mario Galaxy 2? Which one's that?
Was that not Bob on Battle Course?
No, it's
To Google.
It's not Thrump's Castle?
Oh,
yeah, I think it's
Womp's
Fortress.
That's it. That's the one.
I forgot they did that.
That was recreated in Galaxy 2, and that was really cool.
After playing this, I had a massive urge to go back and play through Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, but with Odyssey coming up in 5 days...
Yeah.
Well, since I don't have a Switch, I'll do it for you guys.
Oh, man.
Star-wise... say, Mario Galaxy is 10 years old, like, next month, so we can do that for the show soon.
Yeah.
Can we?
That's our cutoff, is 10 years.
Let's do it.
Oh, man, I love that game so much.
Me too.
I think one of the most iconic ones for me, I don't know why it sticks out, in Cool Mountain, you have to pick up the little penguin and take him down to the mom. The other thing I really liked about this game, too, is that there were a ton of hidden warp points around the levels.
Is there really?
I
knew there's some in Bob on Battlefield with the flowers, but...
Well, in Bob on Battlefield, there are those little inlets on the mountain. If you stand in one long enough, it'll teleport you to the top. Cool Mountain, there is... So where you start, there's a broken bridge at the top. If you go and stand on that, it'll teleport you down to the bottom. So you can teleport with the penguin and just get the star right away.
I never knew any of this. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I know there's little things like, I think it's Thrump's Fortress, where you go in there the second time and there's like an owl that will lift you to the top.
Yeah, or you can fly around with... You can actually steer the owl and pick stuff up with him.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either.
I didn't know there was an owl.
Did you not? He's just kind of flying around.
Yeah, you find him in Swamp's Fortress. You kick him out of the tree. Let's see, where are some of the other ones? There is one in Womp's Fortress near the green block. There's also a second one. Jolly Roger Bay doesn't have any. Yeah, there's a handful of them. Interesting.
Were you always a bit disappointed with the power-ups in this game? Like, there's no Fire Flower, for example, which is obviously a Mario staple.
I think that would have been really hard to control. With not being able to get the camera directly behind you, because you'd always throw it directly forward. You'd always just be missing and just kind of doing the spray and pray method.
You'd just spam it, wouldn't you? So
yeah.
I mean, the interesting, because they had that in Mario Galaxy, but it was always situational. You never just got the Fire Flower to use throughout the level. It was always, right, you need the Fire Flower for this part, and it was limited, so it had a time limit.
Yeah.
But I still think that could have worked in Mario 64. So the power-ups in this, there's the flying hat, isn't there? Which, it pisses me off that you have to do a triple jump. Yeah.
Well, and that you can't stay airborne long enough. So in the DS version of Shifting Sandland, you have to fly around and collect red coins. And the only way to get high enough is to triple jump off of one of the levels of the pyramid. So you have to fly around, try to get one coin, and then you've already lost enough altitude where you're not going to be able to get back up to get the other ones. So you have to try to land back.
There's a cannon, my friend.
Well, okay, yeah, but shut up. No, so you have to land back on the pyramid and then just rinse, repeat.
No, there's a cannon.
I just don't. I don't like the flying. I don't like the flying power up. It's always my least favorite.
Yeah, and another power up is kind of the cannons themselves, because they fire across the level and they're on most of the levels.
I like how you have to find the hidden Bob-omb to unlock the cannon in each level.
Yeah,
the little pink one.
You have to punch him in the face a few times before you talk to him. And so dumb.
Dear. So, guys, remind me, because obviously I did not finish this. What's the last fight with Bowser like? Because I haven't played it for years.
Same as the other ones.
So, well, a little different. When you're still in the same area, you have to grab him by the tail and then throw him into one of the spiked bombs. But every time after that, he jumps back up and he lands on the platform, and he emits like a sonic wave that can hurt you, and part of the level falls away. And if you continually
My
miss.
emulator, Eric, would not render that sonic wave, so I was just guessing and jumping.
If you keep missing the bomb, he'll keep jumping back up and making the level smaller and smaller and smaller until it just turns into a star that you're fighting him on. But after, I think he gets a little bit more difficult each time, where he'll start spitting out fire, and then if you grab him by the tail while there's fire bouncing around, the fire will hit you. That one's a little bit more difficult than the other ones, but it's nothing wildly different.
I found it difficult to throw Bowser where I wanted him to go.
Yeah,
It
because
takes
you got to
it
spin
takes
the
a bit of-
joystick around.
Yeah. Then you're going really fast, and then you have to kind of...
So what I started doing with that is I would lure him over to one of the bombs.
Yeah.
So we were feet away from it, and then just spin him once and let him like gradually drift into it.
Nintendo innovating with controllers still, though. You know, the whole spinning around with the analog stick.
Yeah.
You know, they were kind of the first to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
it was
we
great
have
fun.
now we have QuickTime events. Yay.
Ugh. Ugh. Least favorite levels or stars?
It's one on the snowy mountain. I'm trying to think of. I think it's getting the red coins on the mountain.
Yeah,
Frosty Slide for 8 red coins.
I hate the red coins in general on all of the levels. I do not like them.
Oh, the 8 coins that you have to get on Rainbow Ride, where you're doing all those really intricate wall kicks. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I did that one. Yeah.
So I'm looking
Forgot
through
about Rainbow
here.
Ride.
There is another level that I never went to. There's another snow level, is there not? Snowman's Land. Never went there.
Yeah.
That's the one
Where-
with the giant head, isn't it?
Where is that?
It's snowman painting on the second floor.
Yeah, I definitely saw it on this playthrough that I did.
I think I thought that was the same as Cool Cool Mountain because they have...
So I
They
jumped into all of them just to check.
Yeah. So the second floor has paintings from the first floor up there, and you can't jump into them. But that one's interesting. I didn't go into that one. I really, really did not like the Bully the Bullies on Lethal Lava Land.
Oh yeah, because they're very difficult to push back, aren't they?
Well,
and
when you
get
have
it right
3 of
with the
them at
time.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very hard.
I
I
noticed
always
that...
found the trick was just to quickly do the jump kick.
Yeah, I did that
I'm
at
trying
the
to
end
punch
as well. Yeah.
See, I was trying to punch them off, and they would always hit. Like, if you tried to punch right when they were in front of you, they would overrule you and push you back instead. So you have to actually punch before they get to you so that you're at the end of your animation by the time they walk into your fist.
And then Mario just talks to them instead of punching them, right?
Yeah. I also
Speaking of Lethal Lava Land, the one inside the volcano.
was just going to say the elevator
Yeah.
tour. Fuck
Oh.
that level.
Yeah.
What else was there? There's a reason I purposely skipped Hazy Maze Cave. I hate that level. Every star in it.
It's just unnecessarily complicated, that level.
Yeah.
I understand it's a maze, but it's very complicated.
Rainbow Ride is cool. It's not particularly difficult. I just don't like, because of the limitations with the camera and some of the jumps that you have to make over certain blocks while you're on the magic carpet. It just can be too difficult. So I try to avoid that one.
I did not like Wet Dry World elevator something. Hurry up for express elevator or something. And you have to basically get to the top of the level and jump on a wooden platform, and then it comes down.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to make sure the water level's down and you've broken a block. And then you have to quickly run in this room and jump onto the elevator on the other side of a cage to get up to the top. And it took me about 10 goes.
I like that one.
I don't.
I generally remember, I didn't play it on this playthrough, but I generally remember hating every star on that level.
It's not a fun level because everything is swimming, and swimming in this game is garbage.
Unless you want to restore some health.
Oh, the other thing, too, with the DS version is that the characters all controlled differently, and Wario was really slow. So if you ever had to do a swimming level with Wario and you were really far down in the water, you were just going to drown.
That seems a bit
Because he
dumb.
just could not, he wasn't fast at all. The other thing that they added, too, is in each of the levels, they put something called a switch star. So they would put a switch on the ground that looked like a star that you'd step on, and then it would activate a star somewhere else in the level. You need to have a finite amount of time to get to it to collect it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, that sounds awful.
So I enjoyed the DS version. There was I think it was Brendan Connolly was asking me on the Facebook page about what my thoughts on it were. I enjoyed it. It was a bit more of a slog than the original because of how they changed the characters and some of the changes that they made within the game. I actually watched a 2-hour video or something like that about all the changes that they made, and it's mostly cosmetic changes to the level. And I guess going through it, I didn't really notice it all that much except for the few that I mentioned earlier. I'm sure there are a ton more. But having to use specific characters to get specific stars is one thing I didn't like. I could have done without the addition of more characters. It's just nothing. It's something that didn't need to be added.
Yeah, they just did it to sell it again, really, didn't they? It's a slightly different version.
Well, imagine if they did that with remakes nowadays. Like, hey, remember this game? We're just going to kind of remake it and then make all these changes to it. It just kind of shits all over your nostalgia of the original game.
Yeah, wait until Final Fantasy VII comes out. That's not going to be the same.
I think at the heart it's going to be the same.
I hope so.
If it ever comes out.
If it comes out, of course.
Yeah. So, Mario 64, guys.
Yeah, we did it.
I still love this game. It's one that I always pop back in every once in a while just to play through those first 4 levels. Like this game
I wouldn't say
great.
it's my favorite Mario, but I like it.
No, but you do have to appreciate what it did for gaming.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm like that. There is a little bit of rose-tinted glasses kind of look on this with some people, but don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's fantastic. Like for the time, it was an absolute blow-away success. It crossed so many boundaries that hadn't been crossed before. But looking back on it, playing it now, and kind of analyzing it like we do, there is a lot of shortcomings, and that's just due to its age, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not anything necessarily to do with the game being bad itself. But
It's
yeah,
gonna be
people say that it's the best 3D Mario still, and
No.
go and play Galaxy. That's what I say to these people.
go play Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
fact,
it's going to be
both.
really.
And then in a few days, play Odyssey. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
It's going to be really interesting next week to talk a little bit about Odyssey because I'm assuming you're gonna play some of it, right, Mike?
Yeah. Well, I've pre-ordered it to come. It's just I can't put Breath of the Wild down at the moment, so I'm going to struggle to play that, get some Mario in, and play the game for the show. So
At least play a little bit of it because it'll be really interesting to see where 3D Mario started and where it's at now, and kind of make those comparisons.
I'm kind of glad we put this off until now because it's
Yeah.
nice to have it just beforehand.
Yeah,
It's almost like it was intentional.
Nothing on this show is intentional.
just a happy accident. I'm glad to hear that you can't put Breath of the Wild down because that game is the tip of the nipples.
It is fantastic.
I do feel like after I finish that, I'm going to have to have a break from open world gaming though, because I've just done Horizon. I'm doing this. Obviously, Mario Odyssey is
Yeah.
going to be
See,
an open world as well.
I got both at the same time, Mike. So I had Horizon and Zelda at the same time.
I'm glad you did Horizon first because I did Breath of the Wild first and then went to Horizon, and it felt like a step backwards.
Yeah.
It's a very different experience, though.
Yeah,
it
I
is,
still
but
can't
being able
decide
to
which one I prefer.
climb literally anything you want and then go into Aloy, who's like, "It's not yellow. I can't grab onto it."
Yeah, it's Shadow of War's kind of. You can climb quite a lot of the surfaces, but you can't climb in the same way you can on Zelda. And he kind of goes from handhold to handhold like you could on Assassin's Creed, more kind of climbing.
Yeah,
It's that is a good game though. I highly recommend it.
I'll wait till it's $20. The
It's
other
a lot
Mario,
bigger than I thought it was as well. Like I've looked at the map and I haven't been to about 8 of the locations or something. It's crazy.
the other Mario game I want to get is the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga remake for the 3DS.
Oh, you haven't played any of the Mario and Luigi games, have you?
I haven't
have
either.
Not.
I've played a little bit of Partners in Time. Good, really good fun. Really, really good fun.
We'll have to add it to the list.
Well, this one is the official or the unofficial sequel to Super Mario RPG,
Yes.
which is why I really want to play it.
I've not played Super Mario RPG. I'm planning to. It's on the mini SNES, so.
Oh, get ready.
Get ready!
It's a very basic RPG, but it's still a good fun. It's good fun.
Like Paper Mario.
Yeah, we did Paper Mario for the show.
We did.
You did Mario RPG for the show as well.
We did.
Yeah,
You
none
two
of us
did.
got through it though.
I did.
You beat it?
Yeah.
Oh, Dan got through it.
As usual. Like Tomb Raider 2.
Mike, you posted something on Facebook about questions for this week. Do we have any?
Certainly did. Shall I start off?
Get some.
Zach Foley. He said, first up, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Tyson. Thank you very much. He said, I'm pleased the wedding went well despite us exporting Captain America. He has
Captain America. Babe.
Babe, come through.
My question for the week: what are your go-to or guilty pleasures? Pleasure, de-stress, or games? Mine is and always shall be one of the many hot shots / everybody's golf games. I know many people load up Grand Theft Auto to cause chaos, some Sonic for ring collection hoarding. So what's the FS team play when all you want to do is zone out and play something familiar?
Mega Man 2. Yeah, he meant coins.
Super Mario World.
That's a good one
for me. Like that, those first three sections of map, I'd know like the back of my hand, just because like so many times I've just gone into that game and just.
That's the best part about a de-stress game, though, is you just pop it in and you just play through the familiar portions of it, which is why a lot of these games that we look back on with nostalgia and we dig through it, we get towards the end, we're like, I don't remember this, and you sit down and think about, well, it's because every time I play this, I only make it to this point and then stop.
Well, it's funny earlier on, because when you said about the levels you remember on Mario 64, they were all the first sort of 3 or 4.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same with Mega Man 2. I know the entirety of that game really well, but I know the 8 bosses really well. Usually when I get to Dr. Wily's castle, I'm like, well, I've played through this. I don't really want to subject myself to this all the time.
I'm trying to de-stress.
Yeah. Which is weird, because Mega Man is a very difficult game, so it's kind of an odd de-stress game.
I would say mine isn't probably a retro game. I really like just playing the Batman games and just punching people.
Press and square?
Yeah, it just never gets old. Like, I really love the combat on Shadow of War as well, because it's basically lifted from Batman. So, with a sword.
And you get to press triangle.
You do. And circle occasionally.
Oh!
And X.
Oh!
Sometimes together.
Oh!
And I really like playing Binding of Isaac as well.
Isaac. Yeah, that game just causes rage.
It does, but it's also very satisfying when you beat it.
You can beat it?
Yes.
I don't believe it. I think that game doesn't have an end.
Eight times.
Ugh. I've done it never.
You've passed the first level, have you?
I've made it to the second and third and maybe fourth. Russell Schaefer, did you hesitate to kill the penguin?
I wanted to. But I also wanted a star.
Yeah, throw that little baby off.
Did you guys make the other penguin if it wasn't the right one?
No.
What? There's another penguin you can find, and if you take it to the mother penguin, she goes, "That's not my baby. I don't know whose penguin that is."
No, I didn't know this.
Yes. I was like, really? It's not the right penguin? Because I thought there'd be another star for reuniting her with another penguin, so I took her the other penguin, and she went, no, that's not my penguin.
Mario 64 foster care.
Yeah, when he wasn't useful anymore, I threw him off.
Yeah. Bye.
You're no use to me now. Die.
That's what we're going to do with Mike one day, right?
Yeah. You've run your course. See ya.
Hey, I united this show.
You did. Dancy Gilbert.
Who's he?
I think there's a song about him.
Gilbert.
When you consider Super Mario 64 and all the times you played it, is there a specific memory or frame that comes to mind?
I think we've covered that, haven't we?
Well, I sort of have two. When I read this question, kind of just instantly sprung to mind. When you find, I can't remember what the actual level's called. Is it Big Boo's Haunted Mansion? Mm-hmm. When you find that, like when I first played that as a kid, when you find that and you just stumble across it, you're like, oh my god, I found an entire new level inside all these ghosts. Like, it's so cool.
You see Big Boo in the hallway and you chase him out and you're like, I'm coming for you. And then you get out in the courtyard and there's just all these ghosts.
Mm. And you can kill the ghosts, which normally you couldn't. But yeah, you just stumble across that one Boo that you can see something inside him and you can't quite figure out what it is. And you kill it and you go towards it. And then you go towards what looks like a little birdcage and suddenly you're in this spooky level. I always liked that. And also looking up into the sun to go get the hat.
I think for me, it's unlocking the door for the first time and then walking in, and you just have this whole world and game in front of you to explore. It's just, I have very vivid memories of that as a kid, and like this is just stellar because we'd come from
Stellar
Mario World a few years prior to this. Like, my God, this is as good as it gets.
It's the future.
The staircase, the never-ending staircase as well, which uses
yeah.
that the shepherd tone, where it sounds like it's constantly going up.
Have you seen like speedrunners know how to glitch that so you can get to the top?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a whole speedrunning community around Mario 64 where they use like specific moves and things to move like through very quickly through the levels and glitches through doors and things like that, and you can glitch straight up the stairs. Like I think you have to kind of do like a weird backwards jump, so you're doing a long jump but at the same time going backwards, and he just goes up the stairs and you get to the top. It's very clever.
I think
I
one
love how
memory that I'll
speedrunners do
always have with this, though, and it's not the game itself, but the fact that I returned this game when I got it for Christmas to get Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey instead.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Not my best move. But yeah, that's it for questions.
No emails?
Don't think so.
I did
Let's-
get the question. I did get the question post out quite late, to be fair.
You did.
Yeah. Let me take a quick peek here. Peek. Let's see. Nope.
Oh.
Eric, I have to ask: are you still raising your pinky when you hear a siren?
No, when the American
No, he just salutes
sirens
now.
go by, I just fire my guns into the sky. Pow, pow. Yeah. So if you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manitank.com, or just wait for one of us to post the weekly "What's your questions" before the show, and then post them there.
And where can we see these questions, Eric?
Facebook.com/group/Factory Sealed Podcast.
That sounds like a good place to be.
And if you really like us and you want to continue supporting what we're doing, Patreon.com/Factory Sealed, where even a single dollar will get you access to the Factory Sealed Unwrapped, which is X amount of minutes prior to us actually starting this thing, just talking shit.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a show in and of itself. Some of the
I think we've done a
dumbest
good
shit.
hour once.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Today was probably a good 20 minutes worth. It also will occasionally get you entered into additional contests. And speaking of contests, this is still semi-unofficial, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be official. We're going to do a SNES Classic giveaway.
What?
What?
Babe,
And guess what kind of contest it's going to be, y'all?
Oh, what's it gonna be, Eric?
A straddle contest.
Oh, I never would have expected that.
But this time, you will be judged. We will choose the winner. It will not be a random draw like it was last time.
Okay.
Because last time it basically was straddle, you get an entry, and then we just randomly chose. So wait for some more details on that to come out. I'm still firming up that we can get one. I got a message from a buddy last night that says, yes, I can get you another one. Mine still isn't here. It should be here Monday or Tuesday. So got that spot cleared off on the shelf for it. Excellent. But yeah, start thinking about, if this goes official, what you're going to straddle and submit.
Matt Ernie, we know what we dread to think.
Oh, God. Himself. How's he going to straddle himself?
You might find a way.
In a
There's
mirror?
always a way.
No Photoshop either, Dan.
No.
Yeah. Guys, that's going to do it for this week. Back on the horse.
Getting us soon.
What are we playing? What are we playing next week?
Next week, since it is Halloween, Silent Hill 3, keeping the trend going. I think Mike's excited.
It's so boring. Right, disclaimer, I fucking love Silent Hill 1 and 2. Absolutely adore them. But Silent Hill 3 I just find so fucking dull.
I'm curious to see how I come out on the other side because I've never beaten it.
Have you not?
No.
I've never even played it, so there's a surprise.
I started it last night and got 10 minutes into it.
So, guys,
How bored of it are you already?
I was just tired.
that's because you were bored.
It's 'cause you're bored.
So, guys,
Oh.
after Silent Hill, I have a pitch. I believe we discussed it while we were down in London, and I think the next game after that should be Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, I thought we were doing Castle of Illusion.
World of
yes.
Illusion.
Well, after that, then.
After that. So, okay. We can do that.
Well, I think we should do World of Illusion, not Castle of Illusion.
No, I think we're going to do both because they're both pretty short.
Oh, yeah, we did say that. I remember now.
Now, here's the question, though. Are we playing the original or can we play the remake?
No, go for the original. Because they are very different.
Are they?
Yes, I've got
the
the
original
remake and played it.
all the way. We are a retro gaming podcast.
And is that on the Genesis or Mega Drive?
Well,
Mega
that's the same
Drive.
thing.
Shut up, Mike.
But we are doing Silent Hill next week, not in 2 weeks, because of the shifting of the shows.
Yeah, so we need to get back on Mike's demanding schedule so that we're on his correct weekend.
Woohoo!
So you're going to get
This
2
weekend.
shows back to back, and then we'll be back on our regular bi-weekly recording.
With 2 games.
Woo! Wait, so we're going to do Spyro on the 26th. I'm just updating the website right now, Dan, so you can shut up.
Well done. You're so good.
Wait.
Super. Not the
Oh,
62nd.
guys, I've just realised. So we're doing Silent Hill next week.
You're an idiot.
Well, yeah.
Whoa,
Ah, shit. I won't be here for Castle of Illusion and World of Illusion. I will be on my honeymoon.
Cancel it.
we can switch it around. We can do Spyro on the 12th.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
Because you'd probably want to do the Mickey game more with us, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love because I
Yeah.
played those when I was young. I mean, I played Spyro when I was younger.
So we'll switch it around. It's
Could we play a Mickey Mania as well?
Manior.
3, are we?
I love Mickey Mania.
There. It's been switched.
Also, when you record on the 12th, that is my actual birthday, so you don't throw me under the bus too much.
No, we will. In fact, we
It's
may
good.
stick it up a notch.
It's gonna happen. This will be the first show you've missed.
Put her in, D.
is, yeah.
Here comes that bus. Beep,
Babe,
beep.
babe, watch out, Mike. Here it comes. Oh, guys, back on the horse feels good. Any final thoughts?
Just one.
God, I
what
can.
is it?
Ooh, please tell me.
Everybody should come follow us on Facebook.
Oh, that's it. That's your thought.
And you're an idiot.
Ah, there it is. All right, guys. See you all next week.
Tatty bye.